Like, you have to practice being on social media. It doesn't mean that you always have to be camera facing,
Hmm.
but you still have to build that social media presence because at the end of the day, it is part of your resume and it needs to be curated based on what you're talking about.
Welcome to Dishin Up Diaspora, where we explore how culinary traditions connect us to culture, history, and each other. I'm your host, Chef Emme, and today's episode is sponsored by Chef Emme TV on Patreon, a space where I share exclusive content like recipes, cooking tips, and behind-the-scenes moments you won't find anywhere else. It's a little deeper look into my kitchen and creative process, and right now, membership is free. Head over to patreon.com/chefemmetv and join for free today. Welcome back to those of you who have been tuning in. Welcome to any new newbie that we have today. I am so happy that you're here, and I'm really honored that you are sharing this time with me. I do have an ask for you guys. If you are enjoying Dishin Up Diaspora, please make sure that you are subscribed wherever you're listening on. And if you have some extra time, I would also love an honest review. Your support and honest feedback is going to help this podcast to continue to grow. And also be sure to follow us on Instagram at Dishin Up Diaspora Podcast and me at Chef Emme _. All right, now today's guest is Skyler Mapes. Skyler is co-founder of EXAU Olive Oil and one of the only Black women in the global olive oil industry. She's been named to Forbes 30 Under 30. EXAU was featured on Oprah's Favorite Things, earned a spot on the official index of the world's best olive oils, and took home a NYIOOC Silver Award. Their oils have a cult following, their memberships sell out, and the brand's been featured in publications like Food and Wine, Cuisine Noire, Food 52, and many more. Skyler is also the co-author of The Olive Oil Enthusiast. It's a beautifully approachable guide that breaks down what extra virgin olive oil actually is, how it tastes, and how to cook it confidently. Published by 10 Speed Press. Skyler, welcome all the way from Italy.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here today. I'm so excited to learn more about you, your olive oil, everything. Before we get started, though, I love to play a little game that I call Quick Dish. It's like a this or that. I'm going to say two things, and you just let me know what speaks the most to you. No right or wrong answer here. All right. California sunshine or Calabrian coast?
They're so similar. So
Really?
honestly, Calabrian coast only because it's on the Mediterranean.
Olive oil drizzle or olive oil dip?
Drizzle.
Morning person or night owl?
Night owl, 100%.
Street
Do
food?
not ask me to wake up early ever.
Street food or fine dining?
Street food.
Wine tasting or olive oil tasting?
Olive oil tasting. I don't drink anymore.
City life or countryside?
Countryside, except if it's New York City.
Yes, can't beat that. Pasta or pizza?
Pasta.
Solo travel or a group getaway?
Group getaway.
Nice. Thanks for entertaining me.
This
Welcome,
is
welcome.
fun. I like this.
Yes. Okay, so I want to learn a little bit more. Like, let's take it a little way back. Skyler, baby Skyler, born in Oakland. Tell me what life was like, because I know that your journey didn't necessarily start out with like I'm gonna be a chef or like a culinary or even olive oil. So, I'm wondering like how food and all that showed up back in the day.
So my great grandma was from Jamaica
Mhm.
and my grandma was from Panama. So I grew up in a household with a lot of flavor.
Mhm.
And I always wanted to become an architect. So olive oil was not even in the picture. Like we didn't even use olive oil in our household.
Mm.
And I definitely never imagined myself living in Italy. And I wasn't super into farming.
Mhm.
I wanted to go and like live in the city and do city like things. But life had a different plan. I'm actually happy it worked out this way because I find a lot of peace in the countryside.
I it.
The simpler things in life.
Yeah. That's like my dream. Okay, so how did you end up in Italy? It's like a beautiful love story. I want to hear all about that.
So Giuseppe and I met in 2014. I was interning in Barcelona and he was in Rome. And we met one night when I was out, he was out, and we decided to do long distance for a couple years. He moved to the US, I moved to Italy, and it's been 11 years now.
Wow.
Obviously, a lot of things have happened since then.
Yes.
But we just did long distance for a long time, and then we decided to build a life in the US.
Yeah.
And Giuseppe, he's a third generation olive oil producer. So Giuseppe's grandfather grew olives, and then his father and mother also grew olives.
Nice.
And then he was working in the fitness industry. And then he came back to Calabria and decided to, get into olive oil. Revive the family groves.
Yes. So were they already like bottling and selling it?
No.
Oh.
They never did anything in a commercial capacity.
Mm.
So the olive oil was very much used for personal use.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, like keeping things under oil, curing foods. And it's really important to remember that during this time, there was not a ton of refrigeration. So people were harvesting what they could, curing things, like drying them out maybe. Like zucchini, you can't keep zucchini forever, right? So you would dry the zucchini in the sunshine, and then you would put it under oil in a jar. And you have vegetables throughout the year.
Wow. That's cool. Okay, so then when you met Giuseppe, and I'm like you said you went back and forth, so you would go, like, did you start like leaning towards olive oil and having that little like spark in the back of your head, or like when did that come to you?
Honestly, no. I didn't want to start an olive oil company.
Really? Was that his idea?
No. Yes, 100%. I was working in architecture at an architecture firm. I moved to work with an engineering firm in 3D modeling, and I was not happy in the industry. So I wanted to change. And Giuseppe suggested we start an olive oil company. I said no. But since I was looking for a change, and I thought, maybe I could go into something similar. And I had a friend who owned a winery. So I went and I worked for her. Oh. And I just fell in love with the energy of the cellar because, making wine is very similar to making oil. Not the exact same process, but very similar.
Can you talk to me like about the process of how do you make olive oil? And how do you specifically EXAU? Yeah.
It's something most people don't think about. People see tomato sauce in a jar, and they know how the tomato sauce is made. But people don't really know if an olive is a fruit or a vegetable.
Yeah.
It's a drupe. It's technically a fruit, like kind of like a mango or a cherry. And it grows on a tree. And it's really bitter. So what happens is that the fruit ripens through summer on the olive tree, and you have to get the olives off the tree. So you stake the tree or you stake a branch, and you let all the olives fall into a net. And then you collect it and you take it to a mill, or some people call it the press. We don't press olives anymore, that we mill them. You pour the olives into the mill, it washes them and then grinds them up into a paste like pate. And then it goes through some tubes into a centrifuge. And the centrifuge is what is separating vegetable water from oil to physical material.
Oh, wow.
And then oil exits. But the thing is that, so olives actually have a really low yield. So that means that what you're harvesting from the tree and the final product, the oil, is very small. So when you're making wine, if you get some grapes, the yield of wine might be 60%. But for olive oil, the yield might be 12%.
Oh, wow. That low?
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's why technically olive oil per ounce it should be a more expensive product.
Mm.
But people are more willing to spend more money on alcohol than a cooking fat.
Right. I had no idea. That's wow, 12%. That's really, really low. I also had I thought you would have to like go out there and like pick the olives. They fall on their own. That's a perk.
Well, no, you have to use a tree shaker or a
Okay.
branch shaker to get them to fall.
Okay. Okay. That makes sense.
But you don't want them to fall too soon, because if that happens, they fall into the soil, they become contaminated, and then they're not extra virgin anymore.
What does extra virgin mean?
That is such a good question. It's one of my favorite questions. So there are, as a consumer, you'll see 3 types of olive oil on the shelf at the grocery store. Regular olive oil, which is refined, virgin olive oil, and extra virgin olive oil, which is the highest quality. So extra virgin olive oil, the fruit, the olives, must be picked from the tree. And then they have to be transferred to the mill, ideally within a short amount of time, like 10 hours max, for premium olive oil. And then they have to be milled at a temperature of below 80.4 degrees Fahrenheit.
And so I'm assuming that
it's very specific.
Yeah.
You can't, there's just very little room for error with extra virgin olive oil.
Mm-hmm. Is there like a particular type of olive for olive oils?
Yes. So they have olives for curing, like to eat whole. And then they have olives that you use to make oil.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and then the ones that you use to make oil, you wouldn't cure that one. You wouldn't eat it.
They have some that you can actually do both with.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Interesting. So then for EXAU, do you have one particular, like, what is it, strain or like one type of olive?
We call them cultivar, which means cultivated varietal. And okay, so think of olives as grapes. Like you have Petite Sirah, Syrah, Zinfandel, Pinot Noir, Chardonnay, right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing in the olive oil industry, but there's more, I guess that I would say, are standards for making oil, if that makes sense. It's not quite as varied at a commercial capacity, like whereas you as a consumer would know an olive.
Yeah.
But I mean, there are over 640 recognized cultivars in Italy alone. It's the most biodiverse place on the planet when it comes to the olive fruit.
Wow. Okay, so then Giuseppe convinced you to obviously start this olive oil business. So then did you guys move back to Italy? Was it like, okay, we have to move there, this amazing place, to make this product?
We actually went back and forth. We did long distance.
Okay. And so I'm assuming he went and did that. When did you decide, okay, like I need to be there, like I want to be there? And what made you decide that? Was that the business?
Well, we were coming back and forth from 2017 to up until like 2022. You know, we've always gone back and forth in the US and Italy.
Yeah.
Best of both worlds. But the good thing is that his family had always had olive trees, so there was always someone taking care of them. And then as we had to scale, we found really reliable vendors. So like, as we continue to grow, we're working with female olive farmers, women that are running olive mills, organic certified estates. And then all the properties that we work with as partner vendors are like people who we're sourcing olives from. We all have the same agronomist, and our agronomist, he's a PhD and he specializes in organic agronomy, like organic farming, organic methods, according to EU standards. So all of us are on the same regimen. Of course, we harvest at different times because we're at sea level and they're a little bit further back in the hills. So our olives ripen sooner. and then they harvest theirs, but we're all technically on the same schedule.
Gotcha. I heard you say, you might be the only, like one of the very few, if not maybe the only, like Black woman producer of olive oils. Can you tell me a little bit more about that and just, the challenges that comes with that?
So before we even dive into that, I want to talk about the difference between a brand owner and a producer.
Okay.
And I don't want to fade brand owners, but there's a huge difference between someone who owns an olive oil brand and someone who actually is taking care of the fruit and understands what goes into farming and producing extra virgin olive oil. Because you're out there every single day watching the trees grow. Like we planted hundreds more trees of Nocellera del Belice, which is a cultivar from Sicily, but we're growing it in Calabria. And it's a different experience than just saying like, oh, I bought whatever 5,000 liters of Nocellera del Belice from Sicily, and I'm going to stick my label on it and then sell it to my customers.
Yeah.
We are champions of small farmers, and we want to make sure that we're farming regeneratively, and we're also supporting other small farmers. That's top priority. Like we really need big farming to reduce the portion of market share in the olive oil industry.
Yeah. Why is that so important? Do I got time?
I mean, do you want to live in a monopolized world of anything?
No, not at all. Right?
I don't. That sounds boring as hell.
Yeah.
Like, so do you want things, I don't mean you, I mean like consumers, right? Do you want things to be homogenous? Do you want people to plant the same olives over and over and over, the same grapes over and over and over, and then making the same exact product? It's wreaking havoc on the environment, on farming practices. There's people doing really high density farming where they're putting trees in and then they're loading them up with things to get them grow as quick as possible. And then they have to rip out the trees in 20 years because it won't produce anymore.
Yeah.
And what does that say? Like, olive trees live for thousands of years. There's an olive tree in Greece that's like 4,000 years old.
Really?
And you're ripping one up after 20 years? That's insane.
Yeah.
I just don't understand. Like olive trees, they don't like being put together next to one another. They're kind of quirky like that, right? They don't like to touch one another. And us humans, we've been working with olives for 6,000 years. Like I think we figured it out, right? We need to give them space to grow. And smaller farmers are just much better at doing that.
Yeah. Just respecting.
And respecting the environment.
Yeah. Super, super important.
But to get back to your main question about what it's like being a Black woman in this industry, I don't feel like I'm carrying a lot of weight on my shoulders, which is nice. That's a really wonderful, great thing. But it can feel very lonely because I don't have a lot of people that understand the road I'm taking. And especially being in a place like Italy where you have very unique geopolitical things happening. Like you have the Northern Italian versus Southern Italian, and there's a lot going on. So it's a really strange space to be in. And it's taken a really long time to learn how to navigate it and kind of grow into taking up space.
Yeah. That totally makes sense.
And being able to speak confidently and just being confident in my ideas and the brand I want to share with the world. It didn't happen overnight.
Yeah. So it actually kind of surprised me when you said you didn't want to do the olive oil, produce the olive oil. Was Giuseppe's idea. I totally would have thought it was yours because I follow you on social media and I see you there. You're out there, like you're basically like the face. I mean, to me, I'm assuming you're the face of this business. So I mean, yeah, the confidence and all that, it happened, girl. So yeah, it's amazing. And then you two co-wrote a book as well about olive oil.
Yeah.
The olive oil enthusiast. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
The Olive Oil Enthusiast is a guide for consumers about all things olive oil. So like everything I would want a customer to know about olive oil. Again, the differences between extra virgin, virgin, regular olive oil, how each of those are made, how to pair olive oil with food, how to taste olive oil, how to cook with it and use it in your kitchen, like the different, also how to use it as a makeup remover. Like, there's other applications for olive oil.
That's awesome. I didn't know it's a makeup remover. That's really cool.
It's so good. It emulsifies so well with warm water, and it's like an oil cleanse.
Yeah. I feel like, in industry, especially like in the food industry, people are always, either want to write a cookbook. Like a book is like the dream. I'm wondering how that opportunity came to you. Did it come to you? Did you like find a literary agent, right? Like do a book proposal? How did the book come about?
We were so insanely lucky. Like 2020 was a horrible year for so many people around the world. The good things to come out of it for us were Oprah's Favorite Thing, Forbes 30 Under 30, and the Olive Oil Enthusiast being proposed to us. And it wasn't titled the Olive Oil Enthusiast. So I had been very vocal on social media. And this is what I'm saying, like people who, and now I'm giving career advice.
No,
people who are afraid to, post on social media, you need to, because I literally got a book deal because of posting on social media. Just about olive oil. And we got an email one day from Penguin Random House, because that is the parent company of 10 Speed. And they said, hey, we're looking for someone to write a book, a small book about olive oil. Like we have this little mini series that we want to complete, and we'd like you to do it. I freaked out, of course. I knew immediately we had to find a literary agent. And we said yes to doing the book. We didn't sign anything yet. We were like, yes, we'll do this. So handshake deal. And then I went on a hunt for 3 months for a literary agent. Like I was not playing. I interviewed at least a dozen people.
Yeah.
Someone tried to get me into a really weird book deal. And I emailed people, I called around, and they were like, don't sign that. Yeah. And finally, we landed on our literary agent at ICM, which then got bought by CAA. So best case scenario, like absolute best case scenario.
Wow. Yeah.
And we signed with her, and then she helped us create our book proposal, because you still have to go through the formalities of bringing the book proposal to their team.
Yeah.
And telling them, like we're going to, they actually expanded what the book was going to be. So they were like, can you please include, I think it was 20 recipes.
Okay.
And we said yes. And they brought the proposal to their team. Everyone was on board, and then we got to writing.
Nice.
And it took a long time, because even though technically there are recipes in this book, there's so many technicalities. And this can't be wrong, because we already in the olive oil industry are dealing with so much misinformation. We can't add to that.
Right.
So we sent it off to actually the North American Olive Oil Association.
Oh, wow.
And they peer reviewed it, and they got back to us, said change X, Y, and Z, do this and that. And we took everything into consideration, made sure that, everyone was on, everything was fixed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we also, of course, took all the information that we needed from the International Olive Council, which is kind of like the global association for understanding different grades of olive oil. It's like what they use. They're headquartered in Madrid, Spain, so they use their standards in the EU, but globally they use them.
Yeah.
It's guidelines for how things should be. And we got down to the nitty gritty technicalities, and it took a really long time. Even though the book is not super long, it took a really long time for us to write, because we had to make sure everything was correct.
Yeah.
And triple check every single detail.
Totally. Wow, yeah, that's definitely not. I feel like this is definitely a unique experience to becoming an author, but that's just amazing. And it does show you like the power of social media. And I would say you are a social media queen. I know you were like, business advice, but I really think it's important because a lot of people also like approach me, about becoming private chef or like getting on like cooking shows and stuff. And I'm like, social media, like these like opportunities like find me on social media, honestly. And even the opportunities that I go for, like my book and everything, like I have my social media to back me up. Like, hey guys, like look at this, people are paying attention to this thing, people are interested. So social media is super, super important. I think you do a great job at that, for sure.
Thank you. It means so much because I really tripled down on social this year. I have a lot of really big goals, kind of scary, but like exciting, like that, like good scary, where you're like, oh,
yeah,
I can do that. I mean, I'm a little bit afraid, but I can do it.
Yeah.
And I just tripled down in March of this year and have just been firing off with social, honestly. And it's been working really well. Actually, last December, we were interviewed by the New York Times because of TikTok posts. I mean, come on. And then I just did an interview with Inside Edition last week because of my social media posts, I think because of TikTok. And I've gotten so many other interview requests because of social. So like, it doesn't matter if you want to work in fashion or beauty, the food industry, if you're an aspiring author, you have to have a social media presence. And I know that's hard for people who are shy. I'm not shy. So it's not an issue for me. But even for folks who are a little bit shyer, like you have to practice being on social media. It doesn't mean that you always have to be camera facing and doing I do a lot of selfie videos on social, but you still have to build that social media presence because at the end of the day, it is part of your resume, if not your entire resume, and it needs to be curated based on what you're talking about. The exception is TikTok, where like anything goes, which is why I love the platform. It's like the Wild West.
I'm like an Instagram girl. I'm such a millennial. TikTok like really overwhelms me. I'm like a grandma.
It is so fun.
And I feel like I'm like, I tell people how social media is so important, but I'm like, I feel like I'm definitely failing with TikTok and really like letting the opportunity go to waste because I'm already doing the videos and stuff for Instagram. I just like, there's like this block for me to post on TikTok. I don't know what it is.
A lot of people feel similarly.
Yeah.
And I was that way too. And the thing is that you just have to post. Yeah. And that's the thing about TikTok is like, you just have to make a video and post it. Yeah. And the more you do that, even if they're bad, it's about the repetition and the practice. Because TikTok is not a platform that is 100% based on quality. It's more based on quantity and showing up regularly. So it's better to show up on TikTok once a day, every single day for a year than to post on the platform once every 3 days or once a week for a year.
That makes sense. That might be my new goal. Really like commit to TikTok. Just, I don't know. There's like a millennial block, I feel like, on there.
Try it for a month, like really easy things that are under 30-second videos just to get over that hurdle.
Yeah.
And also obviously repost all your Instagram videos to TikTok.
Exactly.
It's easy.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to take this challenge. You have inspired me. You mentioned, there being a lot of myth about olive oil. Can you share like what are maybe like the top 3 that you like want to get debunked right now?
Oh my gosh. I was actually just scripting out a video about this for TikTok. So this is perfect timing. Okay. First, that you can't cook with extra virgin olive oil. That is the craziest thing. Guys, we've been making olive oil for 6,000 years. If we couldn't cook with it, they would have all died from olive oil poisoning.
Yeah. I will say, as a chef, we did learn this.
Okay.
Yeah, we did.
Not a thing.
We did learn this. Like, technically, like in culinary school, they tell you cannot cook with olive oil. It's a thing. Yeah.
That's crazy because in Italy, it's the complete opposite. And they're like, don't use anything else. Like, at least in the South. Okay, in the South, they say very much do not cook with anything except olive oil. Like even Giuseppe's mom, she's like, I remember I tasted corn oil for the first time and I thought it was disgusting. And so she fries in olive oil.
Oh,
I mean,
wow. Yeah.
We own an olive oil company, so like, she can get away with it.
Yeah.
But back in the day, they still fried a lot, and all of it in olive oil.
Yeah, totally.
So that's number one. You can definitely cook with olive oil. Also remember that extra virgin olive oil has the highest amount of antioxidants out of all the olive oils. And so what that oil is doing is it's basically coating your food and it's protecting your food. It's sacrificing itself. So it's allowing the antioxidants within whatever you're making. Let's say you're making broccoli. It will protect the nutrients in the broccoli. And so they like maintain that level of antioxidant when you're consuming it.
Wow. Okay, so
isn't that cool?
Yeah, I had no idea. I love how you put it as like it's like sacrificing itself for the food.
Yeah, but it doesn't even lose. Like, hey, listen, like when you have extra virgin olive oil, you want the antioxidants to be above 230. Ours are at 900, in case you're wondering, which is one of the highest on the market. So I am not worried about losing some of the, like, I think I'll be okay.
Right.
So if you have a high quality extra virgin olive oil, you're still going to get a crazy amount of antioxidants, even if you're cooking with that product. And also, if you're going to make that argument, then eat your steak raw.
Right.
And not just steak tartare, but I mean, like, like go and get a steak and like eat it like a sandwich.
Yeah. Totally.
Okay, should I continue on to number 2?
Oh, yes.
Okay, you can't number 2 is if you put olive oil in the fridge and it I don't know, it solidifies. I don't even know what it is because I'm like, that's not true. But extra virgin olive oil solidifies in the fridge. That's what it is. I mean, that is based on the like chemical makeup of the product. And the thing is that since there's different cultivars of olive, it's going to vary from olive to olive.
Yeah. That makes
right?
sense.
So you can't make that blanket statement. So that's number 2. And also just don't put your olive oil in the fridge. Don't put any olive oil in the fridge. It's not good for the product. And then moving on from that, I think I would say that we'll touch on smoke point. You can't reach smoke point you can't tell what the smoke point of extra virgin olive oil is at home because that's something that has to be tested in the lab. So if you see fumes, part of that is vapors that are evaporating.
Okay.
And then the other part of that is just burning, but that's not the same as smoke point. Those are not the same thing. And unless you have a lab in your house and you're a chemist, you're not going to be able to tell what the smoke point is.
Right.
Like it's just, I think basically at the end of the day, we should trust science. And again, the fact that we've been consuming this food for so long.
Yeah.
We know so much about it. Yale researches extra virgin olive oil. I mean, they held a symposium about it every single year in Italy. Oh, wow. But they've been researching the product for years. A bunch of universities have studied the product for decades. It's been researched since the 1950s. And the equipment that we're now using to produce extra virgin olive oil is so insanely advanced that the quality of the product has never been higher. So I have so much confidence in where the market is right now that when I hear these things, I don't even give it the time of day. Like there's no research backing it. I know how a mill operates and I want consumers to be confident in the product.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't consume it. I mean, I'm not the world's healthiest person. I'm not like a crazy health nut.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't consume it every single day and cook with it and, like have my family cook with it also if I didn't have full confidence in the product.
Yeah. Do you think so? Because I'm Brazilian and we cook and eat a lot with extra virgin olive oil, like a lot. And it's funny because like when I was in culinary school and they were like, you can't cook with it. I'm like, my mom's doing it. My mom, like they kind of like lit me into believing that she was like doing something wrong. But she had done it all my life, and not just her, like everyone in Brazil, like my aunts, my grandma, like everybody cooks with extra virgin olive oil. We'll like put some on top of our food. Like that's just, we use it for finishing. We use it throughout the whole cooking process. So I'm wondering, do you think it's like an American thing? These myths with olive oil?
I mean, also, wait, before I answer that, that's why y'all look so good.
Yes.
That's why you have good skin. You use extra virgin. Not, I'm serious. You have all of antioxidants.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of big corporations spread a lot of misinformation about olive oil. But in addition to that, consumers in the US did not have access to olive oil, especially extra virgin, for a very long time, because we have to remember that it didn't really become super popular to cook with olive oil or extra virgin olive oil until like the 70s. Of course, there was olive oil before then, you know, because you've had Italian immigrants in the US for such a long time. But I'm talking at like a commercial capacity in the sense of it's in everyone's home.
Yeah.
That didn't happen until like the 70s.
Yeah, that makes
Julia
sense.
Child is actually one of the people to thank for that.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I always thought it was yeah, the whole can't cook with it. And we like, I remember being little, my mom, like, you know, using you mentioned like makeup remover, but she would use it kind of as like lotion or grease for like your skin and stuff like that. So yeah, interesting. Americans, you're missing out. Come on.
They're catching up. Olive oil consumption in the US is increasing so much, and it makes me really happy that we're seeing other types of cooking oils. It's so funny actually, because now we're seeing like alternative fats, like, well, here's algae oil, and then there's this, and it's like, okay, sure. I personally am going to continue to use the product, not because I make it, but because us humans, we've been making it for such a long time. It is such a legacy food, and we know so much about it. I believe in a balance of science and correct farming methods, like regenerative farming. And so extra virgin olive oil for me is like checks all those boxes.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so what is something that you had to unlearn, whether in business or with like your olive oil business, a cookbook, or just personally, like as like a woman in business? What have you had to unlearn recently?
Oh my gosh, there's a lot. I didn't have like the happiest childhood. I grew up in a pretty problematic household. So I had to unlearn a lot of behaviors around first what success looks like to me, and regulating my nervous system, and then also putting myself first, being more selfish. Entrepreneurship, it's like when you're starting your own company, it's already kind of a selfish endeavor, because you think you need a little bit of an ego to think that this idea that you have is better than others, right? So that is something that that was one of the hesitancies, actually. One of the reasons I didn't want to start EXAU is like, well, there's already olive oil companies, so why would I start my own when there's others? And you have to have a big enough ego to know that you can do something better.
Yeah, that's a big one.
That's really, really important. I think that a lot of women struggle with that because we're not really taught to have big egos and put ourselves first. And again, you need that for entrepreneurship.
Yeah, totally. Gosh, I remember this little old lady, client of mine, I was telling her like all these things that I was doing, and she's like, wow, you're really ambitious. And like, I was so offended by that word, you know what I mean? And she didn't say it like in a bad way, but like just the internal feeling that I had when she called me ambitious was like she could have like cussed me out. You would have thought, you know, it was like such a like, how dare I be ambitious with, you know, my career, you know, and that is definitely, I'm right there with you, that I've had to unlearn and be selfish and all that. So yeah,
it helps when you have other women who are just as ambitious as you.
Mm-hmm.
And so you understand, like, they don't get back to you. Like, I have a friend who I texted last week, and she's like, I'll get back to you tomorrow. I'll get back to you tomorrow. And she still hasn't gotten back to me. She owns her own business.
Yeah.
I do not hold that against her at all. She's grinding.
Yeah. Yeah.
She'll get back to you when she can.
Totally. Oh my gosh. Okay, so you have been on Oprah's Favorite Things, Forbes 30 Under 30. Like, what is next? Like, what are your goals, your dreams? Like, what do you aspire next?
Next is just blowing up on social media.
Yes.
Hitting my numbers goals, following goals on social, on TikTok, on Instagram, Facebook, like, yeah, just growing a ton, because I feel like I did a lot of the PR work. I have the writing Olive Oil Enthusiast, and like being in these publications is amazing,
Mm-hmm.
but they have been kind of vanity projects. And now I'm ready for the next stage of growth.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that for me looks like growing social media in order to drive certain numbers, in order to grow the business to a certain place.
Yeah, totally makes sense. And you're doing it. I mean, I found you on social media, and I don't think we had like any, I don't even remember. I just stumbled upon your page and I was like, yes, I love this. I love it. One question I didn't
and
ask.
I actually do want to write another book.
Ooh, about like in the olive oil family, or?
I don't think we need another olive oil book right now. I think that the Olive Oil Enthusiast really does answer consumers' questions. I want to do a book more on Giuseppe's family's recipes.
Yes.
So people keep asking, I do a series called What My Italian Mother-in-Law Made for Lunch.
Yes, and I drool.
And people love it. And they keep asking, like, when's the cookbook coming out? Are you going to write another cookbook? So I'm thinking about maybe doing one, but I want to get, again, I have certain things I got to take care of, numbers I got to hit before I try and propose try and put a proposal together for a next book.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
Because it is it's an enormous time commitment.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
I mean, you know, like creating recipes is so time consuming. And then it would be getting a lot of Giuseppe's mom's recipes. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't measure anything.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of like doubling. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of double work for me, because I watch her do it and I go through and we do it together, whatever. I try and like flip a scale under something and she's like, I can't work like this. I'm so stressed out.
I feel you, girl.
And it's like, it's a scale and a bowl.
Yeah.
Lena, it's going to be okay. She's like, I said 2 spoonfuls. And I'm like, yes, but a spoonful could be a tablespoon. Right. 2 tablespoons, like your tablespoons are Calabrian size, so they're huge. And a half an onion, that's the biggest onion or the smallest onion I've ever seen. It's an onion.
Totally. But it would be really nice to like write it down and like keep those recipes for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
So I do like a outline of her recipes, and then we go back and get all the correct quantities.
Yeah.
Or I'll be like, how many zucchini? And it was 5 zucchini, and she just yells, a kilo. And I'm like, that. Sure.
Sure.
She's just yelling out things.
Yeah. Sounds like my family cooking, and me too. So I love it. I didn't ask you, how is it working with your husband? How is that?
I mean, we have a system down.
Okay, good. I feel like you have to.
In the beginning, it was really hard. I mean, working with anybody's hard, but working with someone and then like either being at home or going home with them and being with them 24/7 is, you don't get a break.
Yeah.
But we have rules. So he's not allowed because he wakes up. I do marketing, right? For the most part. I mean, obviously I work out in the growth, but I take care of most of the marketing. I put together the marketing plans, and then he manages the growth. So he is usually up before me, and he knows like I do not talk about anything related to work for the first hour of my day. The first hour of my day is dedicated to my double cappuccinos, my cat, because I make my cappuccino in the morning and I collect my cat. We lay down and we get back in bed with the sunshine coming in through the window. And that is our morning routine. So it takes a long time to get there. Of like, you have to set very clear boundaries of like, I do not talk about work from this time to that time. And I'm also unavailable from this time to that time. Like, don't talk to me while I'm working out.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're just going to be in it 24/7. You're going to have no breaks, and it's going to become so overwhelming and stressful.
Yeah.
That you hate it.
Yeah.
It's easy to get burnt out. It's easier to get burnt out, and entrepreneurship is already difficult.
Yeah, those are really good boundaries to have boundaries, period. Yeah. I love it. Oh my gosh, I feel like I could keep talking to you and learning more about olive oil and life in Italy for so long, but I must let you go. It's almost bedtime over there for you. The sun is gonna start going away soon, but I would definitely love to have you back soon. It was such a great conversation. I feel like I learned a lot about olive oil, things that I didn't know about. Is there anything else you'd like to share with the listeners? Like, where can they find you? Obviously TikTok and Instagram, and that's what is your handle?
At Skyler Mapes, so SkylerMapes on everything. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. I'm on YouTube now.
Nice. Yes.
And then, of course, get oil. Get a bottle of our olive oil of the EXAU on EXAUOliveOil.com. And then you can get a copy of our book, The Olive Oil Enthusiast, on our website.
Awesome. Skyler, thank you so much for joining me. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in for one more episode of Dishin Up Diaspora. We will catch you again, same time next week.